This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐸81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and today we are going to talk about the most powerful weapon in V Rising. Let's get to it. Okay, so before we get into numbers, because I know you all are like me and you love some numbers, before we get into these numbers, let's talk about what we're after here, and basically what I was after for this video and what I tested for. I wanted to know two things. Which weapon has the highest DPS? Well, in this sense, we're looking for the highest percentage damage over a period of time, because that's all we see is damage percents. We don't actually see DPS. If we were to figure DPS, we would have to figure it out for each individual target based on level and all this other nonsense. So it's just easier to use what they give us, and they give us percentages. And I also wanted to know the weapons' speeds so that I could rank them fastest to slowest. Now, I know that each of these weapons has their own special abilities. In this video, let me make this extra clear because people always seem to get confused here. In this video, we're throwing those out. We're not paying any attention to their special abilities because that is a whole set of variables that just convolutes things, makes things super confusing, and is an absolute ridiculous amount of math that would take weeks to figure out and involve its own video. I'm not going to try to cram something like that into this video. So now that we got all that out of the way, I double checked to make sure each of the weapons do the same percentage of your attack power, no matter what they are made out of. So for example, if you equip a copper mace and you highlight over its primary attack ability, it says that it performs a combo of melee attacks dealing 50%, 50%, and then 60% physical damage. If you equip an iron mace, it says the exact same thing. It doesn't matter what stage of the game that you are at, it's going to do the same percentages of your attack power at each given point in its attack combo. All weapons of the same type share the same physical attack damage. So for example, the Dark Silver Mace is 22.9 physical power. The Dark Silver Spear is also plus 22.9 physical power. So to find out which one of these is going to give you basically the highest percentages, the highest DPS, we are only looking at those percentages on their basic attack. So to start off with, I recorded all of those into a spreadsheet. So the slashers with their 3-hit combo will do a total of 90% of your physical attack power. The spear will do a total of 130% of your physical attack power. The swords do 110%. The axes do 145%. The reapers do 155%. And the maces do 160%. The next step was I had to record the attack combo and then put it into my editing software, and the fun part begins of counting frames. So what I did is I recorded each of the combos. I just held down the mouse button so that there wasn't any human error, and I had the character attack 3 times, doing 3 full combos, not just 3 attacks, but 3 full combos. I did a set of 3 combos because there is a difference in the time that it takes to go from one combo to another for each weapon. So for example, the axes can start a new combo faster than the reapers can. So doing a set of 3 allows us to get a better average percentage damage. So once I had all these, I put them into my editing software and I lined them up so that we could see from when the animation starts until the time at which they complete the 3 attacks. That got me my speed listings. So for your fastest attacking weapon is the slashers, followed by the spears, the swords, the axes, the reapers, and the maces are your slowest. After doing that, it was time to count frames. So I started from the initial attack. So the character will move their foot, and that is the starting frame. Then my end frame is after they finish the 3 combos, when I stop seeing weapon trails. So the frame at which the weapon trails stops, that is what I counted as my end frame, because we need to count after the combos and not when the last attack happens, because this allows us to account for the next combo starting. That got me my frame count to know exactly how many frames it takes in order to complete the combo 3 times. After getting all of this data, I could do some math and figure out which weapon deals the highest percentage damage over those 3 combos. So the weapon that does the highest percentage of your attack power over the course of its combo is the spears, followed by maces, axes, then your reapers, then swords, then slashers. Slashers are your fastest attacking weapon, but they essentially have the worst DPS. Now, the interesting thing here is that axes and reapers are almost the exact same, and we could consider them the exact same because I do not know if they truncate to the decimal point. So if they do truncate to the decimal point, then they are the exact same, coming in at 70. If they don't, there's a 0.9% difference in the amount of damage that they can do over the course of a combo. And that 0.9% difference is in favor of the axes. However, if you are fighting undead, you get a bonus of 25% to fighting undead, so you would be better off using the reapers if you're fighting undead. So for those of you who are interested in the percentages, the spears do a total of 81% of your attack power over the course of 3 combos. The swords do 67%, the maces do 73%, and the slashers do 59%. Now there's 2 other factors to take into account here, and that is that spears do additional damage to creatures, and I tested this. This doesn't work on humanoids. It seems to only be things that are considered creatures, so like wolves, deer, frogs, spiders, stuff like that. Your humans, your bosses, it's not going to do any additional damage to those, even though technically a human is a creature, but we're not going to get into semantics. And your other factor is that reapers do additional damage to undead. So while maces do 73% of your attack power over the course of their combos, the reapers get that plus 25% bonus to undead, which should outweigh and do more damage over a period of time to undead than the maces can do, even though the maces are technically your second highest DPS. So your 2 highest or best weapons in the game would technically be spears and reapers. Now remember, once again, this is just talking about pure damage over time if you're just hacking away at the target. This isn't taking into account their abilities or any other things that the weapon may bring to the table. For example, the General's Reaper increases your spell power. So that means if you are one of those people who just likes to go up and hack away at the target, if you are not fighting undead, you should use a spear. That's going to get you the largest amount of damage. If you're fighting undead, you should use a reaper. And I just want to take a quick second here to give a massive shout out to my bro Shadow for helping me with the math on this. I would have figured it out eventually, but he helped point me in the right direction and saved me an absolute ton of time. So thank you so much for that, Shadow. And that is pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you found this video helpful and informational. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other videos. And if you would like to see a breakdown on the best weapon powers, let me know down there in the comments section and I'll see about making it happen. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to my supporters on Patreon for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my elite group Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching